Awake my heart, baffled yet blessed. And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, Lord, wherefore hast thou so evil entreated this people? Why is it thou hast sent me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in thy name, he hath done evil to this people. Neither hast thou delivered thy people at all. Exodus 5:22 through 23. See here Moses' heart-rending recoil. Try to get into his mind. He had come with such impressive guarantees and such high hopes that any thought of such humiliating reverse had been far from his mind. And now here he lay on the ground alone before God, asking, why? Yet as he lay there baffled and humbled, something big and blessed was happening in this man's soul. He was learning to die, an inward death to selfism. If God was to use him as he desired, then Moses must somehow be brought to the place of this death. Death to self-regard, death to pride in his new miracle-working power, death to self-importance and leadership, death to any desire for the adulations of the multitude, death to everything self and flattery. Yes, Moses must die. Such death is difficult to most of us in the present condition of our human nature, but it is possible, and indeed it is decisive necessity if God is greatly to use us for his own glory in bringing blessing to men. Moreover, such death to self brings wonderful peace with pride and fear, and envy and self-seeking gone. Oh, what peace! But though death is peaceful, dying is painful. Let me quote dear old F.B. Meyer. It is not easy to forego one's own plans, to cease from one's own works, to renounce one's own reputation, to be despised and flouted by the very slaves you would save. What corn or wheat enjoys having its waterproof sheath torn from it, its elements disintegrated, its heart eaten into, as it lies helpless exposed to the earth forces in the cold, damp, dark soil. Yet this is the necessary condition ere it can put forth the slender stalk like a hand holding to the sun 36 or 100 grains like itself. Well, there it was, this heart-rending recoil of Moses, and this was the purpose behind its permission, death to self. How graphically it preaches to you and me. But now beside Moses' recoil, see his resort, and Moses returned unto the Lord. Oh, how ill may seem the stormy blast. It is a blessing, if it drives us to that safest of refuges, the heart of God. That was Moses' resort in his critical dilemma, and amid his anguish of perplexity. So must it be ours in all such straits, panic visits to other human beings for interpretation or rescue are a poor substitute, and usually increase rather than cure or sore problem. Finally, see Moses' relief. Chapter 6 begins, and the Lord says unto Moses, Now shalt thou see. God gives a wonderful new assurance. Twice he says, I am, then 7 times I will. 2 through 8, pledging both his covenant faithfulness and his emancipating power. It was God's own word which brought his baffled servant relief, and Moses did see even greater things than he had dreamed. Let us learn it once for all. Reverse and seeming frustrations do not necessarily mean that we are out of God's will. They often come because we are in his will. They are tests which God intends to overrule for our great blessing. Though he allows us to struggle through fire and flood, he will be with us and crown us with victory bigger than our biggest prayers.